November 16th, 2019. We're going to carry on with the second page, first volume. Of the history of Freemasonry. One of 7 books. Volumes. So, the integrity of the book. Let's see if I can give you a little bit of a better view here. See that? See that? That's the guy who put together these 7 books. It's hand painted. This is canvas. Rice paper. We talked about that in the last video. Okay. Painting, 10th century operative masons. Okay. And here we have, notice the red ink. Here are the publisher dates. 1898, 1906, 1921. The Masonic History Company, manufactured in the United States of America, 1921. Check this out. Their mission statement reads as follows. Dedicated with gratitude to the mighty brotherhood of Freemasons, whose worldwide enterprise in 1898, worldwide enterprise for all that pertains to the craft has ever faithfully served and inspired the Masonic historian to labor zealously in the archives of our great institutions. Key word right there. Institutions. Honorable, Your Honor, and this great institution, and progressive past and present, 1921. Important, standard, and fully authorized works are published by the Masonic History Company on the subject matter of Freemasonry, okay? This history is the first book of the series. So if you don't have that stamp of historical history on the subject of Freemasonry, 33 degrees and up, 290, well, forget about it then. You better be careful who you get your information from. Could be an operative Mason, and you wouldn't even know it. We'll get to that later. Next page. The Masonic History Company provides light and proficiency. Okay? So now we'll read the first page of the preface and introduction. And it's important to do that with any kind of book that you might read and put in your hands. Because what you put in your hands, you put in your mouth, because it's what you put in your brain, your consciousness, right? Which then goes to your subconsciousness. So, for example, is King James, 1611, King James, right? It's a book. But you should be careful with what the preface has to say. Okay? Because it tells you a little more about the food you're going to eat, that you're going to digest inside your consciousness. It's going to manifest inward and reflect outward. Something we get to discuss later on in this journey. Now, yet again, another Bible. This one, though, was manufactured by a different publishing company. This one contains books that this one does not. And what's interesting is the age between the two books, about 10 years. 1595, 1611. Books were removed. Knowledge was suppressed. Knowledge was kept secret. Imagine that. Moving forward. Preface and introduction. So comprehensive a title as the one selected for the present work would be a vain assumption. If the author's object was not really to embrace in a series of studies the whole cycle of Masonic history and science. Such was the opening sentence written by Brother Albert Gallatin Mackey, the guy that has that painting in the front of this book. For the first edition of his truly monumental History of Freemasonry, none knew better than he the full force of what he then observed. So he witnessed in 1921, late 18th century, early 19th. None were so fully capable of carrying out so great an undertaking, and none would have so readily acknowledged the need for a revision when later discoveries should unearth new and weighty facts relating to the old information. Okay? Because this is what's great about this book. This book was written 100 years ago, right? We can now see what has germinated 100 years into the future. If we throw ourselves back 100 years ago, when this book only sat in the hands of the privileged. Go back 100 years ago, before the internet, before electricity, and you only had candlelight. Think about the consciousness. Before you had McDonald's, GMO, vaccine poison, things in the air poisoning you. Think about that. Fluoride in your water. Think about that. Get in your time machine. Moving forward. Of this conviction, we are the more thoroughly assured because Brother Mackey invariably practiced what he preached, writing in a spirit of candor deserving of every praise and imitation, especially by the Masonic historian. Brother Mackey always frankly and promptly adapted all new and reliable methods of cautious research and was equally candid over the puzzling situations sometimes brought about by other writers in mixing facts with fiction. Make sure you know your facts. Make sure it's not fiction or presumption or speculation. Pointing out that very age of the Masonic institution, the very age of the Masonic, okay? He's bringing to light the Masonic institution and really how old it is, right? Had tended to confuse mere traditions or legends with the authentic truths of history. He welcomed light from all directions, but carefully applied critical standards to the source and standing of the information that came his way. By no means was he ready to reject the Masonic legend as fable. On the contrary, he clearly declares that an object of his in writing the story of Freemasonry was to show that these Masonic legends contained the germs, okay, and let's touch on that word, germs, the germination, the seeds beginning to sprout. Okay, this is Old English that this book was written in. So some of the words that you're going to hear out of this book, they don't mean the same as what they do today in the dumbed down, fluoridated, vaccinated, chemtrails language. English. Okay. This man that wrote this book was well scholared. Latin, all that good stuff. So back to the Masonic legends contain the germs of a historical record, mingled often with a symbolical idea. Symbolical idea, 33 degrees, symbolic speed and square. The compass and the speed square. Right? And that when these statements were stripped of their worthless husks, the kernel, the seed, the mustard seed, almost always presents in that simple form of philosophic message. That's all we're going to do for today. I'm going to call it good. Let this marinate what you just heard. Let it soak into the consciousness, the subconsciousness. Peace, love, and fortitude. We'll carry on another day.